Pakistan and Afghanistan now battling.
Yeah, what is that about?
It's a poxy thing, man. Honestly, they shouldn't be doing that, and I hope they could stop that stuff, man. Because Pakistan needs Afghanistan. In case that if India attacks it, they always called it like the strategic depth. Because the Afghanis, like, they would back it against India.
And they clearly will. Like, that's why Modi's meeting with Netanyahu right now. Their shared enemy is Pakistan.
Fatherland.
What is it?
The fatherland.
Pakistan still doesn't recognize them, right?
Who?
That country?
I think so. But you know, all these governments, I mean, they don't represent the public sentiment.
Of course.
But to be honest, though, this is going to sound controversial, bro, but I think our Muslim people are not where they need to be, bro.
Yeah. That's controversial?
No.
That's pretty well
understood. In terms of, if they could, I would say, in many Muslim countries, if they could vote to fight in Palestine, a lot of them would actually vote not to. If it was anonymous vote, they would vote not to do it.
Really?
I think so, but I think a lot of it, like Yemen, no. Yeah, like a country like Yemen, I think they would all go for it.
Yeah.
To be honest. There are some countries like that would all go for it. Like Jordan, I think maybe they would all go for it.
Is that true? There were Arabs fighting for Bosnia during the genocide in the 90s.
Yeah. I love them, bro.
And there were a lot of Arabs. This was at a time where it was fashionable to do this.
£20 donation, thank you, may Allah bless you, Karen donating.
The Americans gave them the all clear.
Not only that, but that was also a little bit before drone technology and
please
AI and stuff.
Donate £770,
guys.
We need 700 £100 for the sake of Allah.
World superpower. It's
£100 teaches 20 to 60 people.
With the sword and
that's true. That's absolutely correct. That's why this whole discussion. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe we should last discussion before we go to the car.
We can carry
on about Iran.
Yeah,
Iran.
It's inevitable. The U.S. is going to go to war with Iran for it.
They're going to go for it, isn't it?
It's probably very soon. I think within several weeks. It's probably the release of the Epstein files. That's why Netanyahu's visiting right
7
now.
people to give £100.
They're putting the final pressure to get this war going. Israel's been dying to go to war with Iran for the past several decades.
What do you think? What do you think would happen?
Have you seen, Professor Jen? His synopsis is that because of hubris, Trump is an actor. He wants TV appearances, and he'll lose for the same reason Zelensky lost against Russia. Yeah. He will deploy 100,000 troops, and Iran is surrounded by mountains. It's a mountainous region.
Yeah.
So you have to bring in troops through helicopters, right? And Iran has good missile technology to destroy planes.
Yeah.
And so just for appearances, Trump will deploy troops, and Iran will actually win against the U.S., which is good for Israel. Either way, if Iran doesn't care, or no, Israel wins if the U.S. loses, because then they have control over the Middle East without our involvement anymore.
Israel, say that again?
Even if America loses against Iran, Israel still becomes global superpower.
Unless Iran starts attacking Israel, which might be one of the only things.
Israel's nuclear capabilities are stronger than Iran's. Yeah. The one downside is that if Trump goes nuclear or he bombs too much, Putin has made it clear that he will strike America.
Really?
That he will use. If we use nuclear weapons, Putin.
But why would Russia do that? Is it because there's a threat coming to them?
It's because Russia is allied with Iran, and also Putin doesn't want America to overextend their.
But the truth is, I think that the honest truth, China and Russia will not fight for Iran. Never. Well, I don't even think Russia and China will fight for each other.
It's not really fighting for Iran; it's fighting against the U.S.
They're defending themselves, bro. It's not about Iran.
I think China's look. If you look at China for the last 50 years, bro, it's all self-defense, self-containment. They're not adventurous like that. Now look at Taiwan as an example. Yeah, they could easily take that. They could easily take that over. There's a reason why they're not really doing that, because if they don't want to take it too far with America. I think that they're being very, and that, like, even going back to the Qing dynasty and then the Ming and all these dynasties, they're not really expansionist. The Chinese are not really expansionist like that. Let alone would fight for some other. When was the last time China ever fought for another country?
No, they're fighting for themselves. They're saying America's coming to our door.
It's not fighting for Iran. It's fighting to maintain their own.
Yeah.
I doubt they will do that, bro.
Of course, man. If America's going to come to Iran, who's going to be next? Of course they're going to
China.
Bro, you never know. That's
what is possible though. What is conceivable is that they would give material and economic support to Iran.
Yeah, proxy.
Like what they did with Pakistan against India. That's a very high possibility. So they're going to give them whatever it is they need, planes and stuff. But I don't think China going to. And Russia is kind of drained from they're fatigued from the fighting with Ukraine, bro. So I don't think they even have the capabilities for it at the moment. The truth is this: Iran is actually its weakest kind of. They're isolated right now because the Arab states around it. They don't really necessarily like them. Yeah, obviously they see them as geopolitical contenders or enemies, whatever it may be, competitors. So they don't really want to. They're not going to get any backing, with the exception of Yemen. But once again, Yemen and Hamas are not. They don't have any. They have nothing. They have no capabilities.
Yeah.
They cannot. You can hit a few.
Hamas propaganda. What are you talking about?
They
Control the media.
They got nothing. So here's the issue, though. Having said all of that, here's what I think. America, when it went into Iraq, it was a demolition job, and they got regime change. They got what they wanted. Yeah. The topography and the terrain of Iraq is completely different to the topography and the terrain of Iran. It's not as mountainous at all. It's actually a desert climate. It's easy to take over that country. Iran is more like Afghanistan. So if America wants to do a regime change in Iran, it's going to... last time I went to Afghanistan, it took them, 2-3 trillion. That's how much it cost them.
They lost.
And 20 years war, and then they were left. And they left their infrastructure, the hardware...
To a bunch of supposed sub-90 IQ brownoids, as they call.
Here's the thing, these guys are really good at guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
The Taliban are an exceptional force when it comes to...
Like the Viet Cong.
They're probably better than them. Because look at what they achieved. They're very good. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard in Iran might not be as good as the Pashtuns in guerrilla warfare, but they're so entrenched everywhere else, and they have ballistic drones, ballistic missiles, drones. They have other things as well. They have an air force which is quite weak, to be fair. It's not a good air force, and it was exposed actually by Israel, to be fair. They have and the thing is, there's not that much will in Iran. Yeah, it's not as so. The anti-American sentiment.
That's pretty argued.
No, trust me. Look, in Iran, the anti-American sentiment is not as much as it was in
It's
Afghanistan.
not really anti-American. It's just anti-Israel. The fact they just see Israel and America as the same.
They're very anti-Israel, but the anti-American sentiment, like if you compare the anti-American sentiment in Afghanistan versus Iran, it's night and day difference. There was more will for them to continue a prolonged fight and a fight back against insurgency from the Pashto side than there would be from the Iranian side. But because a big chunk of their population has become completely disillusioned with the ruling elite, the Khamenei and all of that, they don't like them. Iran is a divided nation. 50% of the nation hate at least more than that, maybe more than that. They hate those guys. They feel like they're suppressing them, etc. Now the question is, who do they hate more? Do they hate America more or those guys more?
Definitely America.
Yeah, they hate America more, but there's a good number of them who would, and we saw it with the Israel things, that would actually be treacherous to the...
I think that's overstated. Mike Pompeo, the former CIA director under Trump's first term, he said and admitted that the protests in Iran were infiltrated by CIA and Mossad.
Yeah.
So those firebombs of the mosques that we saw in Iran, those protests to make it seem like they really hated the Iranian government, that was manipulated by CIA to brainwash Americans to think, oh, look, we care about the Iranian people, freedom for Iran, the government's evil. This is manipulation.
I agree. So look, the thing is, in general, like an insurgency is a very difficult thing to continue. Like, an insurgency... For America, it hasn't been good for them. In Vietnam, they have a losing record with insurgencies.
And it's embarrassing. This is embarrassing to China, to Russia, to other global empires. This is, like, we were supposed to be number one.
Yeah, but insurgencies are so hard. I mean, because the thing is, if you want a regime change, you have to have boots on the ground. And there's no appetite for that in American. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the population
the same belief. I think that the will in Iran there's much more belief than we have. The hatred of our government and our people is much stronger than it is.
The Evolutionary Guard are fighting for their existence. They would be that particular entity would fight to the end.
Regime change wouldn't work in Iran. It would be another disaster like we saw all over the Middle East for the past 20 years.
Yeah,
we will fight for our freedom. God damn it.
Sounds like a problem.
I had a debate with this communist, Jackson Hinkle.
Should we carry him in the car?
Yeah.
I am one as well.
Last one, just one more point to be quick. And he was saying that there is no genocide of the Uyghurs in China. And I haven't done extensive research on this. And he said that it was propaganda spread by you specifically.
I'm glad that he thinks
He
I'm
gave you
that.
credit for this and like, oh, it's just the SonnyFaz are doing this. But I've
you're
met leaders.
Salafi.
This is all my own personal account. They all tell me that this genocide has been shoved under the rug.
Well, I think it's, I came to know about it because of the people, the Uyghurs I saw.
So like,
Yeah, so they've told me this is that's happening. That's so. Based on that, like I can't deny. Obviously, China, bro, it's not Israel, and this is not a Gaza situation. They have the highest tech in the world. If they wanted to ban all technology, they can do it with great ease. So here's what I'll be honest: most people that go to China, they go to mainland, they don't have a problem with it. And even there's Muslims that are coexisting, no problem. Like in Shanghai, in Beijing, in a lot of the cities, Muslims are coexisting. But we're not talking about, because China's a massive country, bro. We talk about America being 9 million kilometers squared. China's also 9 million kilometers squared. Like,
far more people.
far more people. Contiguous land is probably bigger than America if you remove Alaska from the equation. So it's a huge country, bro. And so if you look at China, what's happening in the east of it is like a different country to what's happening in Shanghai and Beijing and these countries, and these cities. I don't know. I've never been to China. I don't think I can ever go there because of what I've been doing. But the point is that I'm basing my testimony on 10 scores of people. Like I'll say the same thing. So I think Mr. Hinkle is the problem with him is that his brand has become, some of these guys, their brand have become like anti-American foreign policy brands, right? In every
So they'll align with China no matter what. They'll align with communism no matter what, even if they don't know how to describe it that well.
And there are some things, frankly speaking, the West has gotten right. Like as an example, right? We talked about Bosnia. We talked about, for example, Kosovo.